到底同性恋者有没有资格结婚，有没有资格成家呢？以下这部影片并不是在挑战你的道德观念，也不是告诉你他是否支持多元成家，它是一个真实的纪录片。这个纪录片获得了今年纽约翠贝卡电影节观众票选最佳纪录片奖。它叙述的是一个真实的故事，真实的故事。这是一对同性恋者，2个同志青年，但是呢，有一位他们本来想要一起成家，当然美国有很多法律的限制，但是一切都还来不及去挑战所谓的社会规范之前，其中一名就坠楼身亡。而他们2个人在法律上，他不是他的家人，虽然他们一直住在一起，他们彼此相爱，而且由于双方，尤其是坠楼的男子，他的家人不能够接受他的儿子是一名 gay， 所以他不愿意让他一生最挚爱的人看他最后一眼，连参加他的丧礼都没有权利。这是一个真实的故事，一个真实的纪录片，让你知道，当有一个人是你人生挚爱，不管你们的关系是异性恋还是同性恋的时候，真实的故事就是如此上演。他无缘见最后一面，他没有办法参加丧礼。纪录片叫《再见我的新郎》，于是他想出了一个很特殊的方法，像2个人当时谈恋爱的爱语一样，手机出现很特别的声音，告诉他我永远永远的爱你。
I was in elementary school, and what I would do sometimes is I didn't want to go to bed. My mom would tell me to go to bed, and then I would sneak out and sit behind her recliner and watch the TV because I wanted to kind of be a little rebel. One time she was watching the movie Philadelphia. Finally got to the end of the movie, and I knew that this guy was gay, and I knew that he was sick and he was dying because of being gay. And that really, it struck a chord with me because I knew that I was like him. That guy liked another guy, and look what happened. He kept getting thinner, he kept getting pale, and there was like sores on his face and his body. And I just remember thinking that that's going to be me, that's going to happen to me.
Shen 在无意间发现了自己的性向。出生在蒙大拿州保守封闭的山间小镇，他的青少年时期过得阴郁，被社群排挤，几乎没有朋友。自我压抑，甚至数度尝试结束生命。
It's kind of funny now that here I was, a little boy, on my knees praying to God that I wouldn't be gay, and there was another little boy 1,500 miles away in Indiana doing the same thing.
Tom 从小就是个品学兼优的好学生，活泼外向，多才多艺，是所有人的好朋友。
He knew everybody, and everybody knew him.I felt like my popularity scale rose just because I hung out with him. Tom was friends with Anne Hathaway in school. He also was friends with Tom Hanks' daughter. I never could wrap my mind around it because here was Tom, this sort of Midwestern, corn-fed, American pie-eating guy who came from this tiny town in Indiana, who then went to military school. He was able to get along and succeed in that entire social circle and academic circle, and then went to Vassar, which is this liberal place and a completely different vibe. He just sort of was magic.
It was at night, and we were sitting in the grass, and I remember he got really serious all of a sudden, and he said, I have something to tell you. I'm gay. And he put his head in his lap, and he was crying and really emotional about it. I think he was really afraid of being judged.
Tom 为内心深处的秘密感到茫然和苦恼，而在同一时间，18岁的 Shen 获得家人的谅解和支持，独自离家来到加州，在片场担任助理。他用力呼吸着自由的空气，静静等待着命运之神的安排。
One of my friends that I worked with, she invited me to go bowling with one of her friends.
We had this idea that we had to get Tom and Shane to meet each other, but we didn't tell them that it was a setup.
She said that there was going to be this guy there named Tom, and that he's active in industry, so she thought that maybe it would be a good person to be connected with.
两人一见钟情 ，Shen 对 Tom 的自信和魅力无法抵抗 ，Shen 成了 Tom 情感的避风港，他们成为彼此的灵魂伴侣。 Shane 事后对朋友描述，两人相知的美好，犹如身边围绕了许多美丽的蝴蝶。
Tom and I knew it would be a challenge to come out to his parents. So he was in Indiana for Christmas. It was just him and his mom, and there was something that came on TV about a lesbian couple, and Tom's mom made a comment about how that was disgusting, and Tom at that moment just realized, like, I need to tell her.
He told his mom, "Mom, I'm gay. Like, when you say things like that, you're talking about me."
身为独子 ，Tom 的出柜掀起了巨大的家庭风暴。Shane 无可避免成了十恶不赦的罪人。
So while Tom and I were on the phone, his dad Norman literally ripped the door off the hinges, and his mom got on the phone and she said to me, "Listen here, I don't know what you did to our son, but we're going to come to LA, we're going to find you."
父母的阻挡没有让 Tom 退却，甚至更加珍惜和 Shane 相处的时光。这对年轻气盛的情侣一起环游世界，度过许多难忘的岁月。Tom 送给 Shane 一枚定情戒指，希望两人能够早点完婚。无奈人生无常 ，Tom 在工作的时候失足从高楼坠下，伤重不治。
I figured Shane was probably there when he passed, by his bed, holding his hand, and he said no. So I went to the nurse's station and I said, you know, my friend's boyfriend is here. He just passed away. Can you take him back? And she said, we can't allow non-family members to see him until his parents arrive. So I kept trying to argue with this nurse, and the lady was like, I understand, honey, I do, but it's against the hospital rules. He's not his family. I said, but he is his family. They have a house together, they have a business together, they have a dog together, they've been together for 6 years. Finally, we were sitting in a room, and this one nurse opened the door, and she said, is Shane in here? And so we went outside. She was holding Tom's license, and she said, man, he was a good-looking guy. Geez, I mean, all the nurses back here are talking about how handsome he was, and we've been working back here to try to kind of make him look the way that you remember him. Come with me, we're going to take you back.
So they walked me back to his room. There was tubes all over his body, tubes coming out of his chest. His face was covered, but you could see that there, had been blood like all around his face. And it didn't really seem like this was happening. I just stood there for a while. I didn't know what to do. The only place that I could put my hand was like on his leg. Then I did, one final tap, tap, tap.
Tom 的母亲赶到加州，痛失爱子的她伤心又不甘，强忍着泪水，没有多说一句，取走了所有的物品，完全无视 Shane 的存在，仿佛他只是个鬼魂，只是一场梦魇。
And I asked her to please keep me updated so I know what's happening, and she promised me that she would, but I never heard from her again.
Tom 丧礼的消息只透过地方报纸简单刊登了通知。当天有800名同学和亲友出席，但不受欢迎的 Shane 却只能被迫隐身在附近，远远的、卑微的目送挚愛最後一程。
The funeral depicted Tom up until the point where he left for California, basically. The speakers were all from Tom's childhood. It was his piano teacher and people from Culver.
Families for literally 30 years can sweep that secret under the rug until someone dies, and then you have to really face the music. And I think that's what happened to Tom's parents. They had this great child. He was smart and talented, lots of positive things. But the one positive thing that they didn't want to brag to their friends about is that Tom had an amazing partner, because they were ashamed. And so what they did is they literally erased it from the history books by shutting down his Facebook page, by disinviting Shane to the funeral. They're not even mentioning him there, which is the most insulting thing anyone could ever do to a person's memory. They're not fighting against gay marriage. They're not fighting against having a gay son. What they're fighting against is love.
Tom 的生命戛然而止，但心却是相续的。 Shane 回到加州，另外举办了场追思会。不是法定伴侣，他只能用纪录片表达他对 Tom 的忠诚。但被夺走的伤痛，心里巨大的空洞，却很难被填满平复。人生而平等，如果每个人都有追求幸福的权利，如果这是普世的价值，那么也许我们都该重新思考尊重的定义，学习善待和自己的不同，展现宽容和慈悲。